Sziasztok! Mi már itt vagyunk a PlayIT-en, azaz, ahogy látjátok, én már itt vagyok a vastrónon, ami elég kényelmetlen. És hamarosan a Trónok harca 2 sztárjával fogunk interjút készíteni, a Podrickot alakító Daniel Portmannel és a Yarát alakító Gemma Whelannal, úgyhogy maradjatok velünk!
I haven't tried any of them. I've heard they exist and I imagine they're pretty good, but I've never come across them, never seen one. I voice over video games, but I was never asked to. Someone else must do Yara. If Yara is even in the game, I don't know.
I've never played them.
Do you play anything else? Croquet?
Croquet? What, games?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. I'm not a huge gamer, but if there is a game to be played, then I will perhaps play it.
Do you have a favorite?
A favorite?
A favorite video game?
It would have to be from my childhood. God, I don't know. Something like Grand Theft Auto, probably. GTA. Yeah.
I was Mario Brothers when I was younger. Mario Brothers all the way. Sonic the Hedgehog, Aladdin, the platform game. It's not what the gamers really want to hear, but I loved Aladdin.
Yeah.
I don't get into video games because they're so addictive. Like, I get nothing done. If I've often, I don't know, the same, a lot of lines to learn or a lot of reading to do, and I get very easily distracted already by TV shows. So if I start doing games as well, career is over, I think.
Pretty much the same for everyone.
Yeah, because they're so realistic now.
Yeah.
They're so realistic. I did a motion capture one, the Star Citizen, the one with, well, it's called something different now. With no, it was called Stars. That's it, Squadron 42. And it was when the finished product, it just looks so realistic, and so I think I would get completely lost in the world if I started. So.
The acting and everything is so brilliant in all these games now, and the fact that
my special suit
covered in your ping pong balls.
Covered in ping pong balls. It's so funny how they shoot those things, because in the end, obviously it looks incredibly technical. It looks beautiful, but the reality is we're in a big room, this kind of carpet, nothing in it apart from cardboard boxes and like bits of old hose pipe. And like we're walking around, but you've got to walk in a certain way for the motion capture, and really like commit to like putting a hose pipe in a toilet roll, and saying lines about like refueling or whatever. So it's very, very rudimentary in its making. But then, I mean, obviously the technology is hugely, hugely advanced, but the actual sort of bit that you do as an actor is very rudimentary. Trying to make these lines sound amazing as you put an egg box in someone's hands.
Well, you managed it. You managed
Thanks.
it.
Well, I was lucky to get my casting, because at the time the casting came, I was only being seen for a comedy. And so I did a comedy audition, and the casting director was the same casting director as Game of Thrones. So I just was in the right place at the right time to be thought of in a way that maybe I would be right for Yara. And then I got the audition for the next week, and there was no way I would have had an audition of that caliber at that stage of my career. So I really was very, very lucky to get that. And then, yeah, it was an audition. I had one audition and one recall. And it was very, there was 70 girls, and then there was 3 girls. It's really frightening.
70?
Yeah.
See, it's strange. I auditioned for 2 other parts in season 2.
What was it?
I can't say, but both of which died
Yara.
in season 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, but I didn't get either of them, and then they asked me back, and I don't know how many people were seen for the part, because I don't remember seeing anybody else at the audition that was my age. I was there with a few sort of very well-known British actors, Omid Jalili, Dexter Fletcher, John Shrapnel, and an old Shakespearean actor called William Gaunt, and me. And I knew all of these guys' work, and I just remember being absolutely terrified. But the casting director was lovely, calmed me down and let me know that essentially it was mine to lose, and then I got the call a couple of days later. So in hindsight, very stress-free. I don't think he's in the position to be funny. Well, I say that, but I'm always getting slapped in the face or pushed over or falling off something. So yeah, I suppose I'm still being laughed at. Yeah. Haven't quite managed to bridge the gap between.
That's good value, definitely. I think working on Game of Thrones, I mean, it's always hard to tell whether you have an audition because of Game of Thrones or just because of something else you did. But I think having it on your CV is certainly very helpful and puts you in a different tier of being seen for things, I imagine. And so yeah, there's definitely things I'm doing now that I would never have dreamed. I mean, I would never have dreamed of doing Game of Thrones. You know, you hope so much to get a break like that. And so I suppose it's not crazy, it's just hugely fortunate that, you know, being in the right place at the right time, and I think both of us work really hard and don't ever take it for granted, and feel very grateful as well. But this isn't crazy, this is just very philosophical and reflective. But crazy-wise, I don't have any crazy fans because no one really recognises me, which I'm pleased about. Don't get me wrong, I'm not. But there's been nothing crazy or upsetting or strange happen to me. No, it's been a very pleasant, respectful ride so far, I suppose. Sorry for no crazy stories. I can tell you all about farting horses, but that's not really crazy.
The really crazy things I'm never going to tell any journalist, so you're out of luck, I'm afraid. But I think the strangest thing that's ever happened to me was I was using a urinal and somebody asked me for a picture while I was
having a wee.
And they said, "Can I have a picture?" And I wasn't quite sure what they wanted a picture of.
Well, it is pod.
I mean, this is obviously my mind goes and like. So that was strange. They didn't get the picture in the end. That is maybe the craziest fan reaction. Though I did a Comic-Con in India a couple of years ago, and they had billboards of us on the highways and the motorways in India. They had big billboards.
Wow.
So that was really weird. I think it was because we were maybe the first people from the show that had gone over to do press. So it was a big deal, and it was great. It was mad. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced with that kind of hysteria. But very, very cool. Yeah. Very, very fortunate, or lucky to be in a position where people care that much about the work that you do. I think there would be an age rating on the Podrick game, certainly. If that's what we're talking about. I don't know. I mean,
it's hard to.
It's a tough one. It would maybe need to be. What would he do? What would he do? Like polish boots.
Pour wine.
Pour wine. Do the laundry.
I just swashbuckle.
Swashbuckle. You'd just be swashbuckling.
I'd be swashbuckling and kissing girls.
More exciting.
We'd both be X-rated, I think.
Yeah.
I think getting the Seastone chair, being Queen of the Iron Islands. I guess that's what she dreams of.
I think Podrick has much simpler ambitions. I think, in my mind, he would like to find a nice girl and open a pub and settle down. And I think he probably dreams of beer and women.
Goulash.
I mean, I dream of very similar things. He maybe has anxiety dreams about whether or not he's doing things right or if he's going to be a good enough squire. He is a bit of a warrior. I don't think she is at the forefront of his sleeping imagination. If you want the book to be on screen exactly as it is, then you're going to be sitting there for years watching it. The facts are that it's an adaptation, so things need to be different. It is now taken. We're further along in the storyline than the books are, so we've taken our own path, and I think the show's popularity is testament to the decisions that have been made. Dragon flying,
yeah. Definitely.
Though I have to say, some of the sailing would be very like Euron or something.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool. But the dragons are definitely flying a dragon.
Flying a dragon would be great, of course.
Being a dragon.
Yeah.
Being a dragon. But at the Game of Thrones exhibition, they do this fantastic VR thing where you get in the lift that takes you up to the wall. Have you tried it before? So you get in this old like metal lift and they shut you in, you put the visor on and the headphones, and then you get blasted with cold air, and it's like you're going up the lift to the wall, and then you walk from one side of the wall to the other and you look out into where the wildlings are, and where the White Walkers are, and they rush out of a forest and they start firing arrows up at the wall, and then you get hit with a flaming arrow and you fall all the way down.
Do you feel it?
I did a couple of glasses of wine when I did it, and I was screaming, holding on to the side. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And that was quite rudimentary. That was quite early on in the days of this VR stuff. So I imagine what they have now is it's pretty intense. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And it is here,